In this unit, we're going to talk about ethics and Idaho dealer license suspensions. It is very important that you operate your business with the highest level of ethical standards and integrity. You must operate with high ethical standards and be honest with every single customer. You must follow every rule, every regulation, every guideline because the state of Idaho has zero tolerance for any type of fraudulent sales activity. So you must give full disclosure on every vehicle. You may never gain a commission by fraud. So let's talk about that for just a moment. Let's say, for example, you're selling a vehicle and you know that vehicle has a defective transmission, and the customer getting ready to buy the vehicle from you asks if there's anything wrong, and you state that no, there's nothing wrong, and then they buy the vehicle from you. What you have done in that scenario is have a customer pay you after you've lied to them. So you lied to a customer to get them to pay you, which is fraud, and it's illegal under all state and federal guidelines. So I want to make sure that you give full disclosure on any vehicles for any mechanical defects that you're aware of in writing. So let's just say, for example, that you thought that vehicle ran very well and you went through it and thought it ran great and you were unaware of any mechanical defects, and then the customer purchases the vehicle and the engine fails a week later. Well, you didn't break any laws because you didn't know or you were not aware of any mechanical defects. However, if you say, for example, have a mechanic telling you should sell a vehicle as soon as possible because they think the engine's going to blow in a few days, and you sold that vehicle to the customer and did not disclose that information, then you would have broken the law. So you can never gain a commission by fraud. You can never lie to a customer to get them to pay you. That is fraud. So make sure and give full disclosure on each and every one of your vehicles and operate with the highest levels of ethical standards. What you're going to find here is you're going to get this great reputation in your area, and I predict that you're going to have families that will come in and purchase multiple vehicles from you because they trust you. You're going to have great online reviews as well. And your profits are going to be much higher because studies have actually proven when a customer trusts a dealer such as yourself, they're going to trust a lot more of an investment with you, the honest, ethical dealer, than they do that crooked dealer down the street. So they will literally pay you more once you have given full disclosure and built that very, very honest reputation. There are some things that can get your dealer license suspended or your initial application denied, such as committing certain crimes. So let's say, for example, you were to transport a large amount of stolen goods across state lines, or possibly rob a bank or a convenience store, then obviously you're not going to be able to keep your dealer's license. Or if you fail to maintain bond or insurance. All dealers in Idaho must be bonded and insured at all times. You can never let your bond or insurance expire when you have an Idaho dealer's license. If you've completed an application that's incomplete or incorrect or with false statements, that's against the law. So you must make sure that your dealer license application is true and completely correct. Another reason could be if you did not complete your continuing education before you renew your license next year. You can get your license suspended by using false advertising or running deceptive advertising, or if you were to purchase a stolen vehicle. I'm going to show you how to run a vehicle history report here in just a little while. You need to maintain your place of business. So you can't just take the sign off the building and stop staffing the dealership after you get your license. You must maintain your place of business during your entire dealer licensure period. If you ever purchase a vehicle with an altered VIN, that's a big violation as well. Or if you violated any odometer laws, or maybe that you displayed a vehicle that you don't hold a title to, or that consignment agreement. So you want to make sure that you either have a title or a consignment agreement that I showed you a little bit earlier. I want to make it very clear to you, the state makes it very, very easy for an angry customer to log an official complaint against any Idaho licensed motor vehicle dealer. So if you have an angry customer, they can easily submit dealer complaint form 3628. And at that time, the transportation department and the dealer's office will get notification, and this is not good because you have become a blip on a state's radar. And that's something that you want to avoid. You want to keep your customers as happy as you can, and you don't want the state hearing about, ABC Auto Credit in Boise over and over and over again from all of your unhappy customers, or they're going to think that you're really not doing business the way that you should. And one thing I want you to be aware, let's say, for example, you sold a vehicle to someone this morning, and this afternoon they come back in the front door. Well, you don't want to go running out the back door. You want to make your previous customers your top priority and do everything you can to keep them happy. We always want to avoid having them log that official complaint against you as a dealer. We want to fly under the radar. You don't really want dealer operations hearing about your dealership over and over again from unhappy customers. Every Idaho dealer must be aware of what's called the Dealer Advisory Board. The Dealer Advisory Board administers Consumer Asset Recovery Fund. And remember, I talked about ICAR here just a little bit ago. And so they basically regulate dealers and dealers' license salespersons. They also conduct dealer license denial and revocation hearings. So for some reason, if the state says they're going to deny or revoke your license, you will have the opportunity to testify in front of the Dealer Advisory Board. And it is a quite democratic process. So they will also review policies and regulations that affect the operation of an Idaho motor vehicle dealership. And they also, as I said, regulate the licensing of vehicle dealer salespersons as well. And then they do make recommendations to the state in considering the adoption of new policies and regulations. So you definitely need to be aware of the advisory board as a licensed Idaho motor vehicle dealer. On a side note, I want to make sure whenever you buy a vehicle at a dealer auction with an out-of-state title that you complete what is called a VIN inspection, and you'll be able to find that form online. Or you can find all the forms that you ever need at discountdealercenter.com. That's the dealer software program that I always recommend using. This particular software program will compute the sales tax easily for you. It'll help your customers get loans. It's got a huge Idaho document library for dealers, so you can basically do anything that you need. It computes the sales tax very, very easily for you and will print up all of your deal paperwork with the exception of 0502, which you'll need to order directly from the state. So I do hope that you are finding this information extremely valuable, and I always recommend using a good dealer management software program, and you can get one here at discountdealercenter.com. Once again, that is discountdealercenter.com.